Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Just Jody Plus One, our podcast where authors get together and have a cup of coffee and chat about our books. I'm super excited about this guest because her book, let me show you it. It's beautiful in and of itself. The Witch's Crystal is absolutely amazing. This is book one out of what's going to be a 5-book series by Devon Gambrell and Gambrell. Saying words wrong already, but I am super excited about having her on, and let's just get her right on in here and add her to the stage so we can start our fun discussion with her. Welcome, Devon. Hey, good
Hello.
morning. I
Good
love this
morning.
because we have been online friends for so long. So it's fun to be in person and get to
Yes.
actually hear each other's voices and talk. I'm super excited about this interview. I have been getting ready for it and just been getting super pumped up. I told you earlier, um, I was fangirling out a little bit this morning about getting to talk to you about this book. So I'm super excited. So I just want to turn the floor over to you for a minute. If you just want to tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll just jump into the interview.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Devon. I write fantasy and steampunk with snarky female leads and a splash of romance. I'm also the founder of All Call Indie, which is a database of freelancers for indie authors, and the publicity chair for the AuthorTube Writing Conference.
Oh, you go busy, busy lady.
Yes,
All right. I'm going to hop in with question number one. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You're ready. All right. This is what inspired you to write The Witch's Crystal? And can you share the journey of how this story really came to life?
Yes. So I want to say that the story has been ruminating for years in my head, like way back from middle school.
Wow.
I got the idea from The Enchanted Forest Chronicles by Patricia C. Reed,
Okay.
and I absolutely adored the main character. So it started off as just, a short story, funsy thing. I showed it to my mom, and my mom was like, "Oh, yeah, this is cool." But I
Mhm.
want to know the whole story. So, what turned into a short story that was supposed to be another short story turned into a novel, and I thought I could fit all the pieces into it, but then it turned from one into five, and now
Wow.
there's going to be a wrap up novella.
Ooh, I just got the tea. I just got the tea. Nobody knew that. I just got the tea. I'm so exciting. I'm so excited. So you just said her name. If you would say that again, because that was one of my follow-up questions was the specific books and authors that influenced the Witch's Crystal. What who is that author? I don't think I'm familiar with her.
So, Patricia C. Reed, I believe she's a English author, and it's a
Okay.
middle grade children's book called The Enchanted Forest Chronicles.
Okay.
It's got talking dragons, it has runaway princesses, uh, enchanted frogs that give princesses advice, squirrels that give directions in the enchanted forest.
So it is
um,
just the perfect book for middle school kids.
exactly, yes.
That's
Another influence was David Eddings and the Belgariad series,
uh-huh.
um, high fantasy. And it starts off with a boy, Garen, from the age of birth to 16 for the first 5 books. And then the
Okay.
second series is from him being 16 to his mid 30s.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's another one I want to look into. Wow. Um, your book, The Witch's Crystal, includes elements of political intrigue and redemption. Did these themes resonate with your personal views or experiences?
Um, no, not really. Most of those came from um, the multiple books that I've read.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Plot and characters. Your protagonist, Tannis, embarks on a mission to the Netherworld, to find the witch's crystal and clear his family name. Can you tell us more about his character and motivations, and what were the biggest challenges in writing Tannis and his friend Am- Amabel's dynamic?
Um, Tannis is very much a by the book, straight and narrow. So
Yeah.
his whole thing is bringing his family back up from where his father put them. Of
Okay.
course, you read the book, so you
Yeah.
know how
Yeah.
that all pans out.
Yeah.
um, and he's intrigued by Amabel at the same time finding her extremely annoying because
Yes.
that's what she does. She
Yeah.
annoys people for
Mm-hmm.
her own enjoyment.
Yes. What was there? I mean, the back and forth that you write with them is hilarious, and I really enjoyed that. But the thing that, really got me about their relationship is kind of like it built from that moment of just to one of it felt like mutual respect,
Yeah,
like they really got each other. Okay.
yeah.
um can you discuss your magic system and the rules within your world, because there was a lot.
There's a lot. Yes,
There's a lot.
it is a complicated magic system.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't think I'll write another complex magical system after this. So there is all forms of magic in here, from elemental magic that I don't touch on at all
Okay.
to witchcraft, where um, in my book they draw the magic in from their elements, or if
Hmm.
they're a mixed breed, they have their own magic that they can also use.
Hmm.
Wizardry is using formulas for
Yeah.
magic. Sorcerers have their own internal magic, but they need to store it in an object to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ergo the crystal. Yeah.
yes, yep.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's mages, but in my world, there's like few and far between, and they're almost considered godlike.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
god magic is different. And then dragons and elves have a similar magic system,
Hmm.
but they don't, they just use it.
Right.
It's not as complicated.
It's so good. I don't I was like, how does she remember all this and keep this so cohesive? I I would have forgotten by the time I got to the second act. Who does what? Who does what? You
Yes,
know, it was
so many
amazing.
notebooks filled with magic.
Okay, it was amazing. It was amazing. Oh, this is a good one. This is something that this was on my poll that people wanted me to ask. Were there any deleted scenes or scrapped characters that you wish had made it into the book?
I wish that I only mentioned her once, and her name is Scylla in the
Yeah.
conversation in the forest.
Hmm.
She plays a huge part in the third book, along with you'll see more of Basil and Letty in the third
Okay.
book.
Okay.
But yeah, I wish I could have found a way to bring her more into it because she
Into
is
book one.
very pivotal for Amabel's life, as well
Okay.
as Prim.
Oh, okay. That's exciting. I'm so excited for book two. The Netherworld plays a significant role. Um, how did you approach creating the setting? And then, if you would, describe your favorite detail or piece of lore about that world in your book.
So the Netherworld, I based it off of a couple of things where alternate dimensions, like I love reading portal fantasy. It's fantastic. So bits and pieces from several books there. As far as the lore for the Netherworld, it's
Mhm.
where the gods convene. I don't know if you've heard of the author Stephen Brust. but he has the Vladimir Taltos series, and
Oh,
they have an underworld like
okay.
that.
Okay.
So the gods can go there, talk freely, as well as all of like the dark banished creatures are there
Mm-hmm.
because they don't have to worry about sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
And any magic user who turns to dark magic automatically gets sucked into the netherworld. But
Netherworld.
of course, I couldn't like figure out how to put that in the book either.
Okay. Okay. Your writing process. Do you have any writing habits or rituals that help you stay motivated when you're writing a book of this nature? That cause you have to have so much discipline, I'm sure.
Yes. I leaned heavily on sprinting with the community sprints on YouTube. And I usually dim all of my lights. I close my curtains. I have a lamp behind my monitor to help me
Hmm.
stay focused for
Okay.
writing.
Okay. That is good advice because I I have a friend named Sarah who runs a YouTube channel, Sarah Cannon, and she was like, okay, get a candle and light the candle. And every time those candles are lit, that's when you're writing. And that has really helped me. I was like, oh, because I thought that's not going to work. But it really does. Like when you get into that habit of this is what I do and this is what my body feels when I'm writing, it,
Yeah.
it helps you focus. So I'm going to try the lamp thing behind. I'm going to try that. This is a themes and messages question. Was there a particular moment in the book where the theme really came to life for you as a writer?
Um, Trying to think of anything specific. Not so much Tannis, but more so probably with Derek,
Mm-hmm.
where he like he's going from leaning on Tannis to,
Right.
okay, I have to do something now. I have
Right.
to take charge of it. Of course, that was towards the middle end of the book.
Yeah. Yeah. It took him a while to find his footing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
And I
hoping
think
yeah.
his life being in danger was the
Yeah.
pivotal.
Yeah. Pivotal moment.
Yeah.
Um, how has the reader's feedback been since the book's release?
A lot of comments. Truthfully, I was surprised everyone loved Amabel, because I did not write her to be a likable character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Um,
like, yeah. I
I
like her
did
fun
it on
herself.
purpose. Yeah. She's sassy. She's, of course, I think she found that she could be more herself. People can't really tell her what to do anymore
Hmm.
because, well, one, she's dying, so they
Yeah.
let a lot of things slide.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
That's
I,
cool.
Amabel.
Everybody liked her.
Yeah.
I like that. Um, have there been any fan theories about the upcoming books that have surprised you?
I have not received any fan theories, and
Okay.
truth be told, that The Witch's Crystal is the final book of the series. Since I tried to jam so much into it and I
Uh-huh.
couldn't, I had to. The next book's going back to the beginning where all of this starts.
Okay. So
So,
okay.
yep,
Okay.
prepare
Awesome.
yourself for a teenage Amabel because it's hilarious.
I'm so excited. No, I was like, how is this? What are we doing? It's awesome. Oh, that's cool. I'm really excited. What has been the most rewarding aspect of publishing this book?
Getting the story out of my head, like it's done. It's out there now.
Yeah.
I can focus on um,
Okay.
building up to that point.
Yeah. I love it. It was just oh. So the witch's crystal, you just told me I had the question. that it was the first book in a planned series of 5, but it is the last book in a planned series of 5. So we kind of know where it ends.
Hmm.
Can you, well, I know there's a novella that's going to
Yes.
happen that will be the end. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you give us a glimpse into what the readers can expect in those prequels? And do you already have the full arc planned for that?
I do. I'm more of a discovery writer. Of
Okay.
course, writing this book, I know what has to happen. So
Okay.
that really does help.
Okay.
Staying within those confines of what I've already established might be
Mhm.
a little more of a challenge.
Okay.
As far as what comes to plan, Amabel is pivotal in every single book. She is the source of everything.
Everything.
Each book is going to be mostly about that sibling. So the witch's mirror is Aster, the
Okay.
witch's sword is Basil, the witch's dagger will be Habel, and the witch's shield is going to be Calmia.
Ah,
Yes.
wow. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. That's so cool. All right. Now, I think this one is really cool question. This one came from my YouTube community. If you could give past you one piece of advice before writing The Witch's Crystal, what would it be?
Don't stress the small stuff. It,
Don't trust this.
don't sit there and nitpick about sentence structure or anything like that. That comes later.
Get the
Right.
story out of your noggin first. We
Yes.
can always fix things later.
Yep.
I totally understand that. I'm a big I stress like when I'm writing, like I will write a chapter and then I have to force myself not to do this anymore. I used to go back and just immediately read it and be like, oh,
Right.
and have to change, So yeah, totally relate to that. I'm a big one on that one. Um, as far as the series goes, and we're going back in time, but are there any characters that really didn't get their fair share, their big bright moment that we're going to see that in those prequel books that you're now writing?
Um, I want to say no, because I kept the cast surprisingly small for The Witch's Crystal, but it
Yeah.
like triples in the first
Mhm.
two books.
Yeah.
So it's a much larger cast.
Okay.
Um, I do feel, in my personal opinion, Amabel and Herod's friendship really comes out in the next two books.
Okay. Awesome. I'm excited about that because it was so there the dynamic between the characters and the way that they banter was just chef's kiss. Um, are there any messages or lessons of hope that you want the readers to take away from the books?
um, Lessons. Even if everything is crumbling down around you, you can
Hmm.
still find time for humor and fun.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Humor is everything. Um, when I don't did I don't know if we've ever had this conversation. I had cancer in 2021, and I was going through it. It's not anything you would wish on anybody, and I was really down, really, really down, and I popped open my laptop and just typed in funny videos, and it was amazing what just sitting and laughing for a little bit did for my morale and just that boost, like, okay, okay, we got this, we got this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and that was something like when I was reading your book, it's kind of like, I'm sitting there and it's like, okay, it's 10 o'clock. I really need to go to bed, but I got to make sure they're okay. I can't leave them in this, and even in that, even in that kind of moment, it gave me that kind of made me make fun of myself, and just the joy of reading and enjoying like a high fantasy. Oh, it felt like a high fantasy book to me was just amazing. It's definitely going to be one of those books that I reread because I got to get ready. I got to get ready for the books coming up. I got to get ready for them. Let's see. What would be a good one? What would be a good one? How about, are there any characters inspired by real people or personal experiences in your book?
So, have you ever seen the new MacGyver series?
Yes, I love it.
Tristan Mays is Amabel.
Oh, that makes so much sense now. I love that so much. I have to turn my fan on. I'm doing my Farrah Fawcett impersonation right now. I got hot. I had to turn the fan on. That makes it, yeah, because she is just so, it's not, she's snarky in a hilarious way. And
Yeah.
I think that's what made her so likable. If she would have just been it would have been
Yeah.
one thing, and I think the readers would have had the reaction you were thinking they were going to have. But
Mhm.
you wrote her so dry humor funny
Yeah.
that, and the moments where she really shined is when she's just giving it back to somebody.
Mhm.
So yeah, loved that. Loved that. Okay, that was awesome. What has been, oh no, you know what? I think this is a good one. How did you develop the relationships between Tannis and the other characters? Was it something where things are going to happen in these other 4 books that are coming up, so you knew how to do that? Or was it, what was that process like?
Um, the process with Tannis was he has to figure out how to maneuver through things. He already he's antisocial for one.
Yeah.
So him maneuvering around people, he always enters with caution. It doesn't help with his family background that
Right.
he almost lost his knighthood because of his father.
Right.
So all of the whispers and the rumors and why is Derek relying on him and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Played into.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are we going to get to see that altercation and what his dad did and really get into the nitty gritty of that in
Yes. Yes.
I'm so excited. Fangirl. Give me a minute, everybody. Give me a minute,
I'm
everybody.
so close to the point of writing the altercation between Tannis and Marcus.
Can I beta read it?
Yeah.
Or alpha read it? So bad. Shameless plug for me. I have a few more questions and then I'm going to ask you the final one, but I think I am going to ask you the one that we always ask authors, um, and see your take on it. What advice would you give to an aspiring fantasy author?
As hard as it is, if you have questions, you have to share your writings.
Mhm.
That's the best part with getting feedback, especially free feedback. Like, hey, critique groups.
Yeah.
Can you read this snippet and tell me if it makes sense? Or, am I missing anything? Stuff like that.
Yeah. So asking for advice is key.
Yes.
And you're right. It is. It's extremely hard, especially as a new writer. I remember when I wrote my first book, I felt like I was in a cloak and dagger situation. Like, 'cause, it's like nobody can know I'm doing this, So yeah. So yeah, it is. It's really hard. It's hard to ask for questions. And it's even harder the first time you hand your book over to a
Yes,
beta reader or an editor or, that's torture. Because,
it
you're
is.
what do they think? What do they think? And at the end of the day, it's not, really to me, it's not what do they think. I
Mhm.
want to know how somebody feels after they read my book.
Right.
What did it make you feel? Because that's what I'm going for. I'm going for those exciting moments, those pokes of laughter. A lot of my characters, I have a character who, um, Rose, she's went through a horrible, thing, but she's very dry humor, very like she like takes her niece and nephew, has them sitting on her lap, and she's reading The Art of War to them. I mean, she's like, okay, what?
Yes.
And and, and I get feedback, like, oh, I loved Rose. And again, like with Amabel, it wasn't the character that I thought,
Yeah.
everybody was going to love, but they, and that's what I want to know. I'm like you. I want to know, what did they feel, or,
Yes.
I love that. I love that. All right. This is my final question. From beyond the Witches series, are there any other projects you are currently working on or planning?
Yes. So when I come into a stumbling block for my witches series and I'm having trouble with focusing or coming up with the next one, um, because I'm a discovery writer, I don't have a full plot.
Mm-hmm.
I have an Arthurian legend that is dragon riders and elves, and a steampunk that has, it's kind of like the Mummy slash Stargate slash Indiana Jones with magic and dragons.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. That is just, I'm doing my first sci-fi with like a little portal thing, right now, a portal world. And that has been exciting for me. But man, I love how you just intermix and are able to do that. That is just super cool. That was something I really loved about the Witch's Crystal. Was it was just like, oh wow, this is just, I'm sorry, I'm fangirling again. It was
Okay.
amazing. I loved it. I can't help myself. Well, how can, and I'm gonna write it down as you tell me, and then if you'll email it to me later too, I'll put it in the description when I upload this.
Okay.
Um, how can my viewers and my listeners, how can they find you? How can they find all these awesome works?
Yes. I am on, I have my books to read link. I'm
Okay.
also on YouTube.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram all the time. It's my favorite social media platform
Okay.
just because it's simple to use.
Right.
And I have my newsletter as well. It's a monthly newsletter. Occasionally, there may be more than one a
Okay.
month.
All
Uh,
right.
yeah. And I
All
have a
right.
Kickstarter coming up.
Well, make sure you send me all the links and everything so I can, give it to everybody when, I release this. Um, Devin, this has been a blast.
Yes.
I say this every time, it's like, oh, this was so much fun, but it really was. And I think it's just, it's one of those interviews where I will walk away. My heart is so happy. So thank you so much for being here. This was absolutely amazing. Thank you for letting me fangirl and be silly and and letting me lose my cool and composure and professionalism and just fangirl. I appreciate that greatly. All right. So
Thank you so
guys,
much for having me.
oh, you're welcome. I love you. Love you. All right, guys, we will see you next time. And you know what I'm going to say before I say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I'm a certain group of people's double shot of whiskey. And I'm so happy and I'm so proud that you come and hang out with us and that you find me just right. We will see you next time, guys. Bye.